Back when I played games on the 360, I never knew what actually made the games play. I never knew what handled the graphics that made my games look so good, and I was one of those people who loved graphics and was astounded by the games that came out for the 360. I thought the Xbox had the prettiest games that I'd ever seen, and to a degree that was true. It wasn't until I became a PC gamer that I realized what went into graphics, what made them look the way they did, and I had never experienced graphics like I do now. Now every so often I make a video talking about how amazing this is and how amazing that is, and this is one of those videos. The fact that I can upgrade my hardware is one of the most amazing things, and I gotta tell you, this is not what I expected to be doing at all. When I first got into PC gaming, I had a GTX 760 graphics card, and I figured that I would never upgrade. I would never need to. I had the best graphics card around. Now, of course, I didn't have the best graphics card around, but I played all my games on high settings. Even new games I played on medium and high. But as soon as GTA 5 came out, I knew I needed more power. I wanted to play on higher graphical fidelity, so I sold my graphics card to my brother and got the GTX 980, and the game looked great. I never needed a new graphics card ever again. A month later, the 980 Ti came out. So I sold my 980 on Craigslist and used the money to get a 980 Ti. Now I will never need another graphics card ever again. And the 1080 came out. Now look, realistically I could game for the rest of my life on the 980 Ti. Hypothetically, I would never need to upgrade it. But upgrading is just an amazing feeling, especially when going from a 760 to a 980 Ti. However, when upgrading, there are things that you need to be careful of. These are, if your upgrading makes sense, the reasons you're doing it, and if you're going to try SLI. And all these are factors that you need to take into consideration. So let's talk about them real fast before I continue my spiel. If your upgrading makes sense. If you go from a 960 to a 970, that's not a big enough leap to justify. How you spend your money is up to you, but I would just hold off to get a better card, especially since the 960 actually has its full 4GB of VRAM, and is still a great performance card for the budget. The reasons you're upgrading. If you're doing it because you need to, then you probably have a very low card, and upgrading from the 740 to a 980 will be vastly different. Take it from someone who went from a 760 to a 980 Ti. Even when your graphic settings are maxed out on the 760, there can be certain things that aren't looking perfect. For instance, how light reflects off objects. On a lower card, this can look really bloomy. However, when you upgrade, that goes away. And even though you're on the exact same settings, this is very noticeable and simply exists because the card couldn't handle every texture or god ray well. Now, if you're upgrading not because you have to and because you want to, which is a thing a lot of PC gamers do, that's great as well. But really do your research, because some cards can be a higher generation but equal the power, or only has a bit more boost. Kinda like the switch from a 960 to a 970. Of course the 970 is more powerful, there's no doubt about that, but the jump isn't very large, and you may not notice every change the card makes to your games. Are you getting another card? SLI. Realistically, the best scenario is to have one really powerful card instead of two nice cards. Mostly because the important parts of having two cards is double the power without the VRAM. However, for you PC enthusiasts out there who want a powerful build just because, I say go for it. I've heard that it's an amazing feeling, and so long as the game supports SLI, it can make the game look absolutely gorgeous. I cannot tell you how much you grow from this kind of thing. The things you learn and how it makes you feel. Not only did you build a machine that you can use every day to engage in your favorite hobby, but you can maintain it so it never gets old. With my 360, I could have never upgraded its hardware. I would have had to upgrade the whole console, but on PC, I don't have to make a whole new build. I don't have to worry about what's going to be the specs in my new gaming system, if it's going to be powerful enough or not. None of this worries me because I get to choose. This is my decision, and I do not have to ask anyone to upgrade my hardware. And I just love that. There are people out there who down on this and say, well, that's what I hate about PC gaming. You have to upgrade every single day. And here's the thing. I could easily still be gaming on my 760. My friend plays GTA 5 on his 750 Ti. He plays on medium and high settings at 60 FPS, which is much better than consoles by a long shot. And the 760 is almost equivalent to that card, so I could have had no issues playing games today. It's just the fact that I have the option. But say it were true. Say I did have to upgrade my system every year. I don't think I'd mind. That feeling I get when I put new hardware in my PC, that feeling when I upgrade it to a point where it would potentially last me another 8 years, it's such a fantastic feeling. But I gotta say, for those of you out there who think this, those of you who say that I have to upgrade every year, I want to ask you why it is when I tell people my specs that they get jealous. Why do they tell me that they're still gaming on a 760 or lower? Why do you see all these budget gaming rigs for $200 that can play Minecraft and Dota? The Potato Masher, a $300 PC that plays GTA 5, and your consoles, whose hardware was already 5 years outdated the day they were released. How are you still playing games if your hardware has to upgrade every year? There are so many things I love about gaming. There are even more things I love about technology, and the fact that I can combine those things that I love together makes worlds collide in all the right ways. I don't think I could have a better experience. I mean, unless my PC went out and did parkour with me. That'd actually be kind of nice. NVIDIA, work on that.